So the Fijians, they are going head-to-head with Georgia in the upcoming Rugby World Cup fixture. And luckily for Fiji, this game, if they win it with a bonus point, they will be qualifying for the Rugby World Cup quarterfinals. If they don't manage to get that bonus point or they are defeated in this game, they still have got a chance next week up against the Portuguese to right those wrongs, still make their way through. So they're in the box seat, and in this preview we will be looking through at the lineups for these two sides. Alongside that, looking at the key players, the previous fixtures, and then a prediction at the end of how we think this match will be going. But for the Fijians, in their starting lineup, it will be Aroni Maui at number 1, Sam Matavesi 2, and number 3, Luke Tangi. So pretty similar to what we have seen from the Fijians throughout this Rugby World Cup so far, and that is a trend that does continue. In the lock and duo, number 4, Asoana Sila, and then number 5, Te Ehuaru Wharekatavita. In the loose forward trio, number 6, it is Lakima Tangi Valu. Number 7, Lavani Botia, who had an absolutely tremendous last match up against the Australians. And then number 8, it is Viliami Mata. Then in the back line, they have stuck with Simeone Kuravuli after some impressive kicking in the last contest. Number 10, they have also stuck with Tite Tala out on the left wing. It is Semi Radradra. He has played a bit of centre as well as out on that wing throughout this Rugby World Cup, but him out on the wing in this game up against Tabudzadze, who did score one of the tries for Georgia last week. It's going to be an absolutely awesome head-to-head. In the midfield, it is Joshua Tuisova at number 12 and number 13, Waisianaita Levu. Then out on the right wing, Celestino Ravatamunda makes his way into the starting lineup rather than Jeta Wanyanyolo, and that is actually the only change for the Fijians in their starting lineup. And then number 15, Eliza Droa-Sisi, and I should mention Jeta Wanyanyolo will not be coming off the bench in this game, as they have got Vanaya Habosi at number 23 and Vilamoni Botitu at number 22. Looking through at this Georgian side, the new captain is at number 1, Mikhail Nariashvili, so he will be in charge of their front row, and he actually keeps his spot in the side, whereas the hooker, they have decided to make the change. Zantaradze now makes his way into the starting lineup. Also quite a few changes in this back line for the Georgians. Number 9, Lobhadnidze, and number 10, it has Luka Matkava. Then also a little bit more of a change for the Georgians, with Ninashvili making his way out onto that left wing rather than starting at fullback, where it is Modibadze who does get that opportunity. And out on the right wing, like I mentioned a little bit earlier on, going head-to-head with Semi Radradra, it is Tabudzadze. But now looking through at the key players for these two sides. For the Fijians, Joshua Tuisova, number 12, he had a brilliant performance up against the Australians, a man of the match performance in that contest, scoring himself the 1 try, also having the most running meters out of any player, beating a lot of defenders along the way. And he could be one of the keys for the Fijians, because if he can get that ball clean from Tite Tela, from Simeone Kuravuli, and just run it at that Georgian line, it will eventually wear the Georgians down. Also in this Fijian side to watch out for, Simeone Kuravuli. He has once again got that starting 9 jersey, rather than Frank Lamani, who will be coming off the bench. And just with that kicking accuracy, well and truly puts him in a very good spot to have a great game. And then also alongside those two, another player to watch out for in this match, I'm going Lavani Botia. 3 turnovers won in the last contest, 3 offloads, also managing to make the most tackles out of any player on the park. So a workhorse at 7, exactly what the Fijians need. For the Georgians, I am going with that man who has moved to number 11, Ninashvili, mainly because of what he's been able to do at 15 throughout this Rugby World Cup for the Georgians. He's been an extremely busy man. His kicking game is so important for the way that Georgia play, which makes me a little bit intrigued for what they're going to do in this game, whether or not there is still going to be that same kicking element, or whether they're going to try and play running rugby with the Flying Fijians. And if that's the case, could be a blessing, could be a curse, but either way it's going to be entertaining, and Ninashvili should certainly have a good game. Also alongside him, another player to watch out for, Tabudzadze, because of the fact that he was able to score last week in a similar boat to Tuisova. Both men know how to get over that try line, but in this game, rather than marking up with Tuisova, he's marking up with Semi Radradra. And then the last player to watch out for in this contest for the Georgians, it is Tengizi Zantaradze, the man who comes in at number 2. The rolling maul for the Georgians can work out early, maybe putting the Fijians under a bit of pressure. But of course, Fiji, we know how physical they can be. They might just go the other way. Looking through now at the previous fixtures for these two sides. For the Fijians, they've had 2 close fixtures throughout this Rugby World Cup. Their first game up against the Welsh, they were defeated 32 points to 26. Extremely close fixture in which they fought back hard throughout that second half, just not quite able to get enough points there, although they did walk away with the bonus point, which has actually been maybe a crucial point for the Fijians as this World Cup does progress. Then their next game was up against the Australians. They won it 22 points to 15, looking extremely strong, winning 13 turnovers in that game and getting their first win of the Rugby World Cup. Then for the Georgians, their first game was up against the Australians. They were beaten 35 points to 15, so not quite the start to the Rugby World Cup that they were after. Then their next game up against Portugal, they came in as favourites. They walked away with a draw, 18 points to 18. And I think something that's hurt Georgia a little bit is the fact that they haven't been able to score as many tries some of the other sides throughout this Rugby World Cup. So I think maybe that is why Ninashvili has made his way out to the wing to try and increase that attacking play for Georgia. It should be a very interesting game, but now we move on to that stage of our prediction. Now for me, Fiji, with the lineup that they've gone with, they look like they're coming for a big win. And I think that that's exactly what they're going to be able to do. Now, we can't underestimate the Georgians in this game, but I believe Fiji will win this game with a bonus point, winning at 37 points to 24. I think it's going to be high scoring. I think Georgia are going to have their moments when they're fighting back, but overall Fiji getting themselves the victory and the bonus point, qualifying for that Rugby World Cup quarterfinal. But I do thank you all very much for tuning into this preview. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We will be live on the channel doing the commentary for this matchup, so be sure to check that out as well. The game does start at 4:45 a.m. New Zealand time tomorrow morning, and we will be up watching along with that game. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Do let me know what you think of these two sides in the comments down below, as well as your score prediction, and I will see you all for the next one.